Go ahead.
Call the May 6, 2026 Storm Board meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sue, roll call.
Aye.
Here.
Anthony?
Here.
Right.
Here. Citizens input. Do I have any citizens input? Looking for a motion for the consent agenda.
I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda for the April 1st, 2026 regular meeting minutes, claims for the period March 27th, 2026 to April 29th, 2026 in the amount of $155,849.37, as well as the monthly financials for the April of 26 and the Public Works Activity Report.
I second the motion.
I have a first and a second. Any discussion? Sue, roll call.
Aye.
Yay.
Yes. Reports, Director of Stormwater report. We just finished our first backyard project over on Northgate Drive in Harrison. So that one got done, went real smooth. I know the people were real happy, so we'll keep plugging away at those. Next week I have the annual MS4 meeting in Indianapolis. And also in September 2nd, we have our IDEM inspection for MS4. So we'll be getting visited by IDEM for an inspection September 2nd. We'll be working on that all year to get ready for that. Some of the projects I wanted to talk about still going on right now. If you go by, Oldtoft Townhomes are going up. The Learning Center on Calumet Avenue. Plum Creek Christians Academy is almost finished. Panda Express is rising up, so that's going really well. In Tsunami Car Wash, you can see, all the work going on over there. So that's looking real good over there. And then the last thing, we had our first meeting on the Hunter's Way that we talked about. And Justin with the parks, I don't see him here, but he has a bench already for us and ordered 2 trees to set up for that. And then I contacted the person that did the signs for the 2-stage ditch. And I actually have a proposal tonight. We've been sending her some information. I talked to Mark, Ron's son, and sent him a picture, and that's what the family likes. So we sent him that picture, some information. We're going to work back and forth, and when we get a design, we'll let everyone see it, and then everyone can decide if they like that or going forward. But what I'd be looking for tonight for that project on the Hunter's Way is we have a proposal, and I would be looking for not to exceed that amount. That would kind of be our only expense, I believe, because the Public Works is going to take care of the signs. And if you've seen the signs for to turn for the railroad for the South Shore, use those nice black decorative poles. We're going to use those same poles and get a nice sign on there and say Hunter's Way. So they'll look real nice. So I'd be looking for a motion so we can continue with the sign.
I would gladly like to make a motion to approve the estimate not to exceed $2,800 for the Hunter's Way memorial sign.
So moved.
Is that a second?
Yes.
Okay. So we got a first and a second. Any discussion? Sue, roll call?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. And then after we finalize all this and get it ordered, they said about, it could take 6 to 8 weeks once we finalize the design and they order it. So we'd probably be looking at maybe around late August or September when we could do the memorial. And then we can throw out the dates to everyone and then invite the family and whoever else, anybody wants to come. So I think it'll be real nice. That's all I have. Attorney's report. Consulting engineers report, Thomas.
Here, if I go over some of them stuff now, or what, wait for old business for one of them?
However you want to do it. We can.
Let's go through what I have then.
Yep.
So Northgate, we're continuing with the pump station design. We got the survey from Turinga, so that design continues. We'll have 4 pumps. We have varying levels on and off that we've designed to accommodate. And let's move forward. Ordinance, we recommended some updates in 2026. I believe it was sent to the attorneys to consider or review. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it. John or Adam?
I've taken a look at it, I haven't started cobbling.
I thought about the same. It's really good reading though.
So what I think we.
It was an insurance seminar.
As far as for that update, I'd really love in the next like month or two to get through here, because that has to go to the town council to get ratified and stuff, and we need to update our ordinance per the people from, IDEM and stuff, so we'll try to, if we could maybe try to get
Do
that.
you want me to do the lifting on that since the council is to vote on it anyway?
However, we could figure that out, but yeah, let's try to do that. Sorry, Thomas, go ahead.
If you need to send it again, let me know. Yeah, could you, certainly. All right, the Sandy Ridge, one of the things we talked about was a sidewalk that was not originally in the plans. When we talked to Dyer Construction, first of all, they're waiting for the ground to dry up to get out there to start it. They've got to all the pieces they ordered for that, but just don't want to make too much of a mess in the neighborhood, so they want it to dry up. But they want to know if you want the sidewalk to go forward. The last page was the concept of where the sidewalk would go, more or less keep it on the north end, tied into the park. Their estimate back in the fall was $100 a square yard. We're estimating 140 square yards, about $14,000 to install that. We'd also have to put in some drains to help drain the area that's flowing right now. If the sidewalk it should be raised so it doesn't be a mess. So maybe it's a few $1,000 more than that. When you include all the drains, but want to know what what we want to do about that.
I mean, I know the town really wants a sidewalk. I think it needs to be. If you look here, I got an aerial up here. We just redid this park. And from over here on Rolling Hill, there's sidewalk access and it'll get you into the park. And then there's a nice little stoop here. So in the picture, it shows coming off of here, going this way, coming down, and then coming over here to hook over to Boulder. And then that would give people access to be able to get over to that park from Boulder without having to walk through the grass. And it would be tough to walk there because we're gonna dig it down a little and it's gonna be sloped down. So I think the sidewalk would be great for the neighborhood. I don't know how you guys feel.
I'm all for it.
When we were out there, there was a resident trying to push a buggy stroller through there, and it's.
And I will say, I went and met with the people right here at 2331, and I showed them the plans a while ago and said, hey, we want to put a sidewalk just to get their thoughts, and they had no problem with it.
It's good. It's round on two sides.
It is.
Decline, right, going through here.
It will, and then it'll be even more of a decline.
We'll adjust the grade and push it off, so
Yeah.
it'll start to on the south side of the sidewalk. The grade will change slightly just so that the sidewalk will be flat.
Okay, but there's no stairs though for that?
No.
Okay.
No. So do you think this is something that we need a motion for the change order, or is it just something we?
I think it's better just to do a motion for it.
Okay.
If they're-
I would like to make a motion to approve a change order for Dyer Construction to install a sidewalk from Boulder Road to the Sandy Ridge Park.
Second,
Got a first and a second. Any more discussion?
like, where's it go from? Council or?
No, it's not a recommendation. I mean, it's our project. It's a storm project, and we're adding the sidewalk, so it would just go straight to Dyer Construction. And then Thomas may have to tweak something on the engineering as far as the grade, but I don't think nothing major.
I'll work it out there.
Okay, no more discussion. Sue, please take roll.
Yes.
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 And then the last thing I have is another decision. You want to make one, but the two-stage ditch at CVS. So we finally heard back from NIPSCO about relocating those poles.
and they estimated the cost is about $32,000. Just as a perspective, it's a $383,000 estimated project. It obviously hasn't gone out for bid yet. So it's not, you know, it's well, less than 10% of the cost, but it's not nothing. So I wanted to see what the desire of the board was as far as moving forward with that. You know, if you recall, we took a long time to contact CVS, or CVS was fine. The owner of the property took a long time to respond. And they finally gave us, yes, they would allow it to happen. And then we had to get NIPSCO, when the owner of the property said, we don't want the poles on the west side of the pond. We want them on the east side, close to the two-stage ditch, away from their parking lot. So that's what we're waiting for NIPSCO. And that's their estimated cost is $32,000. So now you're looking at $415,000 roughly would be our estimate for the project.
I would say personally for me, I think with this cost, I still think we should move forward with this project. Even at 415,000, if we say take out the NIPSCO and we're at 380, we're gonna get money from Little Cal. They love the two-stage ditch project. We're creating more storage, so that's not gonna cost us that much. It's gonna cost us half that much as a stormwater board because we're gonna get that money. And this has been a really good project, and I think I would like to see us move forward. So I don't know what you guys
What we
think.
would do is make probably a motion to approve payment to NIPSCO for the moving of poles for the CVS two-stage ditch project, when they not to exceed 35,000, something like that. It's 32 an estimate.
Yeah.
We're gonna run into, so I think that would be fair.
I know, what are your guys' thought on the project? We've been working on this for a while. We even,
Is NIPSCO, I mean, are the people back, or are they just gonna be paying folks from out of state to come in here and do this, or?
I would say most of this work aren't what I call NIPSCO folks. They been subbing this kind of work out for polls and stuff. No matter who is in there. So I don't think it's a lot of NIPSCO people. But I can't answer that 100%.
I don't think we have a choice here.
I mean, we even, I remember, and Thomas, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of our meetings, we even agreed to pay a little money for an attorney review on the CVS side so we could help move it along. So I know it's been a project that the towns wanted. They really liked the two-stage ditch here, and I think it would look good because we're gonna add trees in there. It's gonna help, the ditch, because if you ever happen to walk and look down the ditch there, it's real rough, and those banks are not in good shape. There's some bad trees down there. We actually just worked with the surveyor to pull a couple big dead trees out of there. So I think it would be a win for the community as a project. Especially since we're getting money, this isn't 100% a town of Dyer funded endeavor.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to pay NIPSCO not to exceed $35,000 for the relocation of the poles on the CVS side.
My second.
We have a first and a second. Any more discussion?
What is that quote?
Well, we would tell them move forward now because
It's gonna take them a while to schedule because NIPSCO doesn't move fast, and then because all that work will have to be done before we can
Is that
get
gonna
in
be
there.
done before NIPSCO moves the down there at High Point Prairie?
Yeah,
They have the-
well, I
It's on
sent,
the
well,
list
I
there.
sent them an email saying that we're going forward and we're just gonna build up around your box and then you can do as you want, and they haven't messaged back, but. Any more discussion? Hearing none. Sue?
Yes.
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 that's all I have.
Thanks, Thomas. Town Council Liaisons Report, Mary?
First of all, I want to clarify the last meeting that I was not unable to be here, but I did submit a report in a timely manner several days before, and I submitted it to 3 different people. And when it came time for my report, nobody seemed to have it. And I know that there was an issue. So I would just say, this is what I wanted to point out 3 things. Number 1, the support of the lift station to kind of relieve the pressure of everything in Northgate, the water from there. Second thing was talking about the Ron Hunter, Hunter's Way. And was asking for the date and the protocol, and that's all been taken care of last week, which I was glad to hear. And the third thing was about the status of the floating islands in Pheasant Hills Park, making sure that we're taking care of those, because I see different things that are happening there. They're there and then they're not there, and the ducks are there and whatever.
Turtles.
Turtle, is that what it is?
Oh.
Okay. Okay, second thing I wanted to point out is that Mary and I attended a presentation in Maryville, and they talked about the pavers that they put down, that the water goes through the pavers like they have at North Central. And I see those all the time.
Real papers.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But I thought, with our new park and everything, we have to have an opportunity somewhere to use those kinds of things to our advantage, because obviously there's drainage problems there, but that would be perfect. And I know it's expensive. But if we could have a demonstration, maybe some area,
You could do it at the sidewalk where we're talking about putting attention. It's kind of weird going from concrete to pavers.
Yeah.
Out Sandy Ridge.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it'd be visible and everything else, but it is a lot more expensive.
it is.
I don't have a quote on a price.
But I know that you like to experiment with Dyer.
We use permeable pavers many, many places.
I know, but
So-
I know that you did
Right.
the stormwater at Protzman, the
Mhm.
two-stage ditch. Now, you're using
Right.
that in other areas, but I'm thinking that was so remarkable to watch how that worked. And I know that they're probably getting better at it, but just to have everybody see there, if we have an opportunity somewhere, if we can use that technology, I think would be really good.
If I don't mind, I completely agree, and I think at the right place. I don't think Sandy Ridge, other than showcasing it, is because it's gonna be higher and I'm not gonna have the opportunity for water to really go through it.
Yeah, but I mean,
Whereas
if the new park someplace, if there's a
Absolutely,
place,
there's a low plot.
Yeah.
Where water collects and you can collect it through there and see
Yeah.
how it goes through, we can do it there.
yeah,
do
because
that.
I know we're talking about, the water saturation in Central Park. So if we've got a little spot that would kind of dress it up a little bit, I think that would be a good place. But that was really a great demonstration.
Sure.
Really appreciated that. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Old business, High Point Prairie drainage improvements. I spoke with the original Keith, they got the original bid out there, and he's actually going out there this week to look at it. And if he wants to continue with it, they're gonna get started. If not, he's gonna let me know. And I told Thomas we're gonna send it out to a couple people, get a price. I actually I'm gonna have Thomas go and look, because I have a couple homes being built right there that are offering to, when they dig the foundation, to put their dirt over there too. And if you think we could use it, I'm gonna get it, because it's next week and it'll just cut down on even the expense of what the company will have to bring. So I feel this is getting close and we're gonna wrap this up this year. Two-stage ditch north of US 30, we've already talked about. Number 3, Heart Ditch two-stage channel at Briar Ridge Country Club.
We're just gonna leave it on there for now.
Yeah, just leave it on there. The Northgate Pump Station, Calumet Avenue, the land acquisition. I know we've signed it.
All signed, we're sending out to Chicago title, we'll get it closing hopefully this month.
And then once we close on that, I know me and Thomas are gonna go out there to look to see if there's any beginning like tree work or anything that has to come down right away. And then, we'll have that site, get moving. New business. We got the Lincoln Lands and Drainage District. Jeff Morton's here to give us a little presentation tonight. I know he does have a video that he wants us to see. And we struggled trying to get it off his phone. So I told him that, he can show you the video. I'm gonna get an aerial just so people can kind of see the area that we're talking. Up here on the north side of town, you got Heritage. So just to give you an idea, this is Burcott's, used to be Waltz over there, grocery store. And if you go behind that subdivision, that's where you'll find Heritage Estates Park. And then Heritage and that area there drains to here. And then right down here, all the way down is a ditch line, and then it hooks down into his system. So he wants to kind of let you see a video of that line that goes from here down to, this is what I would call his main line. So this is the area he's gonna show you.
All right, so here is the video. I'll let you guys, I have a press play. Amateur video, it's amateur. It's an Android, it's not.
Is it? I don't think it's, I thought I hit play, but.
Commissioners here at the Lake and Lansing Drainage District. And the reason why I'm here today, as I've already spoke to at the podium, is this is just a video of showing the waterway that is on the Illinois side, roughly 1,000 feet into my system, or to my system, you could say, from the state lane. And I just wanted to show you a little bit of what's going on here. So I always say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, the video must be 5,000. So let's take a look here. So I'll walk down here. I'm going to turn the camera around. All right. So as I walk down here, that is the system in question. Oh, sorry. So now I'm down here. So all the way down there is all the storm water that comes from that Heritage subdivision. It's all the way down there. It's plugged in under your guys' roads and it comes in and it comes through this system here. And now this is on the Illinois side. So this is pretty big and wide. And then what it is this is our system here. That is the water coming from the south. And that is the system all the way down there. Now you can see how wide this is. Now, if you look from here all the way down, you see it's perfectly straight because the ditch is made that way. Well, as you can see, it's not straight here. So this has been over time, and here is the damage and the erosion it's caused. And you can see how high it is up here, how low it is here. Now, if you look down there, there's a nice slope. It's a nice, easy slope that the grade is. Here, no slope. It's just cut off. So what happens is the water that comes from here, because it's a lot, trust me, I've seen it, comes in, punches up here, and it's eroded this whole area here. You see how the drop off here is? And I'll show you real quick. This is the farm. There's a farm field up here. So up here, there is a clay tile that has broken off because that clay tile was all the way out here and is completely broken off and then, of course, washed away down the creek here. But that shows how far back that erosion has taken place. And you can see where the trees were here holding everything together, and it's just completely eroded. So this is what we're talking about in question, this area here.
So yeah, he was down over here. It was the wide, was looking north. So
Yeah, this way. This one was eliminated, and then this was looking down to Heritage.
Okay, so in your packet that I put together, put everything together. First of all is the letter from the district. We basically laid everything out cost-wise, what the ask is. So hopefully you've had a chance to peruse through some of that. There is the second page on your pamphlet that you have here is the Illinois Drainage District Association. So what they do is they represent majority of the drainage districts in the state of Illinois. They're a body that drainage districts can go to for advice or help. I've reached out to them for their input on the matter as well. And again, when you get a chance, go ahead and read through some of that as well. The third page is the actual quote from the quarry in Thornton. And some questions people have already raised, why can't we just use, you know, broken up concrete from, you know, like reusable concrete? When you're dealing with waterway, you cannot use reusable, you have to use virgin stone. And the stone that we're using is called RR4, which is between 7 and 9 inches. And that's what was recommended. And there's the quote for that. The next page is just the stone and some of the parameters. And another page that we have here is that I want to touch base with. This is something that I acquired some time ago. Brian's been very helpful. It's just a letter basically in basically 1981. It was a request from I think from the town board to pay for funds to do some work on that 1,000 feet in the state of Illinois. So it basically shows that the town has during times, and I know Public Works has jumped over the line and tried to fix some stuff as well. But it does show that you guys have put a few dollars behind it. And on the other side of that is actually the proposal. The other thing, again, thank you for Brian bringing this to me, is basically the drawings of that area basically shows that there's basically 3 spots that water is coming in out of Heritage subdivision. There looks like one main line splits into 2, and then there's another one that comes across. So there is a large amount of water that's coming into that system. And also in some of the pages that you'll see in the pictures that I have next, there's a lot of sediment in those pipes as well. I've had the chance of going over into that subdivision. I've walked back by the fields, and a lot of people are like, hey, what are you doing? And I talk to them, and they express the concerns of some of the issues they have with flooding back there and how the water is just not getting into the system fast enough. So maybe Public Works or somebody could do jetting out that line too. I think that would drastically help you guys out. And then basically the last pages here are pretty recent. You could see the foliage has definitely changed. Last time I was out there before, it was very cold. And these are some of the pictures. Now, the first picture, you could actually see how much of it basically chewed up a lot of this over time. I've talked to a lot of farmers and people in this area, and it used to have a slope. Basically, that water comes in, it jumps up, and it just erodes this whole area. It's pulled down on the west side, I'm sorry, the east side. The water has actually pulled down some of that embankment down into the system. And when you're going, the water flows to the north. When it's low flow, you can actually see a lot of the sediment already in the water line. A lot of that dirt is already washed down our line. So we have to dredge all that sediment out of our system. So that is one, and that's one of the things that we're definitely willing to do, and we are going to be doing. The next page is that we've already been out there for months, taking down a lot of the trees, brush, foliage, so we can get to it, because it was so overgrown on both sides. You couldn't even get a machine in there. So the district was already invested into doing this. So we have already put our foot forward to start this project. And again, these are just some of the other pictures of the slope. You could see how it's chewed up. And in that video, what I was trying to do is I was trying to stand in the water because the ditch line runs perfectly straight. You could see in the video that it's meandered way out and it's come back because water is very powerful and it just chews everything up. So we have to fix that. The last page is what I was talking about earlier. You could see at the very bottom there's a lot of sediment, and in the middle you have an island there as well. So it would probably behoove the town of Dyer to go in there and probably address some of those issues. Not so much for us, but helping your residents out, discharging their water. So basically that's it in a nutshell. I want to yield some of my time. I did bring, our engineer for the district out. He wants to talk about a couple things, and then also, our other drainage district commissioner, Carl Smith is here as well. And if he has a few words, he would be so kind to embellish him as well. But first, I'd like to call Don up to the podium.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. My name is Don Wathier. I'm with the engineering firm of Burns Clancy and Associates. And we're located in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois. We have over 150 drainage district clients, as well as dozens of municipal clients and other folks. So we're pretty up to speed on this kind of stuff. So I wanted to just give you guys a little bit of background history. So the drainage district, Lincoln Lansing Drainage District, was actually formed in 1924. When you go and look at aerial photos from that era, everything out here in the drainage district and on your side in the town of Dyer is basically all farm ground. And of course, farm ground in that era was not corn and soybeans only, but included wheat and oats and hay and pasture and so on. So that those grains and pasture areas reduce stormwater runoff as compared to what we have today. So when you add in the fact that much of this watershed has been urbanized and the change in the agricultural use and stormwater drainage, we're looking at about a 400% increase in the amount of flow that would happen in the Lincoln Lansing channels for a same rainstorm event. And so that's problematic. Those channels were not designed to handle all of this. And so that's one of Lincoln Lansing's issues to resolve, is to try and deal with that substantial increase in runoff flow. In 1923, the Metropolitan Water Resource District did a study of the watershed here and made a bunch of recommendations to the drainage district for improvements to their system. And so the drainage district has undertaken the effort to do as much as they can with the funds they have available to make some of those improvements. And for now, at least, they're trying to do several small projects such as this one to try and start to gain on things. Dyer itself has about 420 acres of the municipality that drains into the drainage district. Now, obviously, since Dyer is on the other side of the state line, it's not part of the drainage district system. It doesn't pay anything to the drainage system for outlet benefits or anything like that. In particular, this subdivision here and the drainage that's kind of connected to it was all done before stormwater management, stormwater retention, detention was common. And so there is no retention or detention for this. So it does, compared to what was there originally, it has a substantial increase in the flow to the drainage district facilities. What we have discovered is that this channel did not exist in a state of nature, but was constructed by, we presume, the developer subdivider of that subdivision and or the town of Dyer as an outlet for the 242-inch diameter storm sewers, and I think there's also a 30. There's 3 storm sewer outlets right there. And that was created to provide an outlet for the drainage from that area and the urban drainage, and connect it over to the Lincoln Lansing drainage system. However, there's no record that any permission was ever given to do that by the drainage district. It may have been a handshake deal, but there's no official record in any minutes or anything like that, or any contract agreement. So, we understand that. The outlet channel needs maintenance. I think you saw that it, not only does it need maintenance where Lincoln Lansing is talking about at the confluence, but also all up and down that channel needs maintenance. That's not a drainage district facility. The drainage district, by state law, Illinois state law, really can't spend funds to do that maintenance. So that's an issue for you guys to maybe look at what can be done to make that happen. I think Jeff's done a good job of explaining to you what they want to do at the confluence. The water from the Dyer outlet ditch comes straight into the side of the Lincoln Lansing channel. It doesn't make a swooping curve or anything. It's causing erosion on the west bank of the channel, and so placing some riprap erosion control there to stop the damage is really what's being asked. I did provide you with 3 different maps. One is a map from the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District that outlines kind of the watersheds of the area and where the channels are. Just to give you a kind of a big picture. Second drawing is a distant aerial photograph with the watershed area from the town of Dyer outlined in that. That's the area that, as best as can be determined, drains into the Lincoln Lansing drainage system. And third is actually a drawing prepared by your consulting engineer showing where the outfalls are and what's connected to those outfalls. So it kind of gives you a bit of a background. But I think, the drainage district is really looking for some financial assistance. They want to do the work. I think that the ask that the drainage district doing is basically that you purchase the materials for the project, and they'll get it installed and do the other ditch maintenance things themselves. Obviously, this would be intergovernmental cooperation. And so the district is basically just asking you to contribute in a neighborly fashion, I guess is the best way to characterize it. So I don't know, any questions of me, what?
Couple, one on this page showing this drawing, and I know you had the Christopher Brooks drawing under it. I would just want these guys to know that not that whole red area goes through the Heritage States Department.
Right.
Okay, everything north of Old Farm Road goes to Veterans Park, and then it goes north into Munster, and then it goes west, and it gets into their districts through the airport. So I just don't want you to think that whole area comes in.
Yeah.
Two, Really, I mean, the only thing that we've seen here tonight that, and I'd really like to see more is on this first thing, we got a piece of paper just showing what the cost of rock is and saying, hey, we want this many loads. I mean, we don't see any like an engineered drawing showing like we're on the bank, like some hatching, what we're doing, what, what's gonna happen, what work's gonna get done for 14.2. I mean, I know we're buying the stone, but we have a video and we pointed this way, we pointed that way, but I'd want to see some kind of engineered drawing, like exactly what we're gonna do. What's the total plan for there? And then you had made mention of, that it wasn't on the map, and that the district couldn't spend money going up there, which is still in Illinois, which is my same problem. It's hard for me to spend taxpayer dollars of Indiana into Illinois also.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm totally against, Dyer helping on this little stretch, but from what I've been hearing, it doesn't, from this work that's gonna get done for the 14.2 request isn't in that stretch. It's at the end of the stretch where it hits and the erosion is. So that's why I'd like to see some kind of plan for that. And then I would say too, I mean, I get you on the erosion and sediment. And as I've told Jeff this before, and Thomas can speak to this better than me, but we have 38 square miles southwest of Dyer that feeds into Dyer, and it's all in Illinois. I mean, in Dyer, we're pretty stringent on retention ponds and to build new. And in Illinois, we don't get to decide what those are. We pull trees out of the ditch all the time that come in from Illinois. I get sediment that comes through. And I have yet had anyone offer me money in Indiana to help with my woes of that 38 square miles of development in Illinois that comes into Indiana. That's what makes it hard for me to just say, hey, let's spend money, outside, but I'll let Adam.
Yeah.
For our guests, I am the counsel, the town attorney, and I attended this meeting because the council is interested and obviously will be interested in the issues, and I am licensed in Illinois as well, so I familiarize myself just generally, and the standards for stormwater drainage in the two states could not be more different. Indiana has a preserved historic patterns of drainage. Illinois is mitigate the effects of development, which by my reading is a much more stringent standard. So what I would like to know, and what I think you guys should know, is if this were a project in our town, then would we even, if it's something we would even be obligated to do and pay for under our standards versus us as effectively subjecting ourselves to a more stringent standard in another state.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about erosion here, so I don't know that standard. We're not really looking at designing retention ponds or designing this with flow rates. It's just more, erosion.
We're it's a maintenance issue.
Yeah.
And so in Indiana, we have the surveyor's office that handles all the regulated drains. And that's really what you're talking about here is a channel that accepts flow from different areas. So I don't think that answers your question exactly, but it's a maintenance issue. If we had a maintenance issue in Dyer that was getting water to, say, Hart Ditch, we would have hit that.
Fall within our purview,
Right.
The county survey.
Right.
Well, let me ask a question. Is the county surveyor doesn't oversee Dyer because it's not a regulated drain? You guys take
No.
care of it.
He takes care of the regulated drains within the town.
Unlike, again, a difference between Illinois and Indiana, unlike Illinois, where the county sets the regulation for the county sets regulation for all municipalities in that county, it's not the way it is in Indiana. There's ordinance for unincorporated and things associated with the regulated drain. All of the municipalities can have their own ordinance that does not have to follow the county ordinance.
There is no county ordinance requirement in the state of Illinois either. Now, the Cook County and the Collier counties that are urbanized have gone together to do that.
Correct.
But downstate Illinois, there is no requirement that the counties do not adopt a stormwater management ordinance. The villages and municipalities may or may not at their choice. There's multiple jurisdictions that don't have any stormwater management regulations in Illinois. So the difference here, or one of the issues to understand also, is that under the state of Illinois regulations, Lincoln Lanson Drainage District can only provide maintenance to its facilities that it built and that it operates. It can't say, just if you think about it, it can't say, well, gee, if something was different, well, gee, that Walmart's having a problem with storm drainage, let's go over there and fix the ditch for them. It's private ditch. In Illinois, private ditches are privately owned and privately operated and privately maintained. And so in this case, I think our contention would be that this ditch was built by either Dyer itself, or more likely the developer of Heritage Estates subdivision for the benefit of the subdivision. And so therefore, it is a privately built channel that should be privately maintained. And that includes who actually is going to be the maintainer or owner of it. I think the answer is Dyer, whether it's the storm board or the town itself or whatever, but you and your agents built it. You and or your agents are required under Illinois law to maintain it. So what the drainage district is looking for here is to simply say, look, we've got a maintenance problem that we think that some riprap put in here will solve that problem. It's a relatively small cost. They've asked for a cost share of, if you buy the rock, we'll spend all the money to do the excavation work and get it put in. And I can tell you already that the excavation work and all of that other is actually more than the cost of buying the rock and getting it delivered there. So there's that. Certainly they ask for a design drawing, if you will. That's a reasonable thing that we can get to you. It's been relatively informal up to this point, in that everybody stood there and said, here's what we think it's going to need to do. And so, that's how it was done. But because the contractor doesn't really need detailed, precisely measured drawings to get this done. And there's no sense wasting the district's money to do that, but we can and should provide you with drawing that shows where it's going to be and what it's going to be. That's certainly an appropriate ask.
Brian, you make 100%. And again, how do I want to explain to it? I'm very blue collar. I'm very laid back. You're my neighbor. You live next door. That's how I present this to you, the board, as neighbors. If that ditch was not there, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It's evident whomever put that ditch caused an erosion issue on our side. All we're asking is humbly, look in the letter, humbly asking for the money to do a very simple project that this ditch, this water caused. If it was my water coming from the south heading north, we would have this issue. Water's gonna go perfectly straight. But this ditch, the water coming from Dyer, Indiana, Heritage Subdivision, which I might add has been plumbed. All that whole subdivision plugged into that one point, from that point into our system. And I take upon that water. I understand the legal liabilities of what we can and cannot do. And that's the reason why I'm just asking, as a neighbor of good faith, pay for the stone. If you need an engineering design, we can spend more money. We can get you that engineering design. But on the same token, neighbor, it costs us more money to do something that is very simple. It's not that difficult. I understand your ask. But what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to be very costly and, you know. to
Yeah, I mean,
manage
I
the
wasn't
place.
asking for like an engineer drawing. I mean, this would be an engineer drawing, you know, showing, you know, the banks and what you're doing. I would say, I mean, Adam, what do you think? We just take it under advisement? And
Well, I mean, this is something I almost wish you had threatened us with a lawsuit, because then we could discuss it in executive session. But right now, all of your deliberations have to be out in public. I'm not sure if you're prepared to make a decision today. If you'd like, I can look into what the potential liabilities are and prepare a report for your next meeting. I certainly wouldn't agree just to pay the money without some sort of legal protection going forward in the future, if that's what you want to do. But I would like to have some time to advise you as to what I think the town's position or the board's position should be on the viability of this demand.
Yeah, and I think partially in echoing that, I think we need to get, like you said, some more detailed drawings. What's the actual dollar cost, or at least a very accurate estimate? And then what's the ongoing cost of maintaining that?
And then fish
That
through
would
the
be helpful.
minutes too and find out if the town ever approved anything related to this ditch, because I'm suspecting we didn't.
we can't find none. It was in 50. I mean, for all we know, and I still not convinced that it wasn't happened. That's been a farmland forever. The farmer could have dug a ditch to dredge his field. And when they put in the subdivision, that was the low point to where they discharged to. I mean, there's no record either way saying that the town built it or the developer built that or the farmer built it. I mean, your record could show that too. So, I mean, no one has any record, so no one knows exactly what happened back then.
I think we need a lot more data
Yeah.
to be presented.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's here trying to be adverse.
No,
Nobody's saying,
We have to be
everybody's here in
responsible
good faith,
too.
trying to be, I
Yeah.
mean,
I
everyone
don't-
wants to be a good
Thomas,
neighbor.
have
I
something.
just have a couple questions on the, so you said there's 424 acres from Dyer
Yes,
that comes through there.
and not through that connection from Dyer that eventually gets to Lincoln Lansing
Okay,
through other connections.
whose map is this?
That is the Metropolitan.
Strong Engineering. Group,
Strand
or Strand Engineering.
did it for MWD.
Yes,
Okay.
That's their study.
Because that shows 1.1 square miles, which is double.
but that includes portions of Munster.
I thought the blue and the, anyway. So my point is at this point where these, and you're saying the ditch between the state line and where this erosion is occurring is not part of Lansing Drainage District.
Correct.
So from there north it is, but according to this map, there's over 11 square miles of water trying to make its way north. There,
Yep.
and you got 400, at best, 424 acres, so less than what? 5% of that is coming from Dyer. And it's causing erosion, not just because of 5% coming there, but all 11 square miles coming north. Trying to,
No, what's happening.
I don't know exactly where this project is, that's what I'm trying to guess.
Heritage subdivision in that little red box, that is the water that's plumbed in, and I got that, well, that's not the right thing. But that, the other map,
Quite frankly, the map that's on there is probably better.
104.
Yeah.
Your map, 140.
So the,
this right here.
yeah. So
This
the
came-
the situation is
Yeah,
that
this area goes this way,
was
and
dug
then
to
this
here. and
area
came in
goes
at a 90
yonder
degree
this
angle
way. I
To
think it
the
goes
channel
underground,
flowing
and
this
then
way.
it comes this way.
And as a result, this flow bounces on this side of the channel and wants to create a.
You mean our stuff?
Uh, erosion
There's
area
no longer
here.
than that. So Will
And
County.
so,
comes through it right
you
there.
know,
It's gonna-
proper
that- but see,
channel design
There's,
has been
if this
curved in
doesn't
here.
exist,
And,
there's no erosion
you
issue.
know,
There's not
let
gonna
it
be a
flow
problem.
out,
Water's going
but that
straight.
wasn't done.
This is causing damage. It's evident. This is causing the damage to this. So this is the.
Okay, well, I think after talking to your attorney, that's best, we'll table this till next month. We can get some information if you want to get us a drawing. Something, now it doesn't gotta be detailed. I'm not looking
Yeah.
cross sections or not, whatever.
I think it would help to see
Where it
where
is.
this project, where the stone's going. And how high you're protecting, just, it's from here to here, it's
Because if
5
it's
feet,
coming
50
straight
feet,
in, I mean,
100 feet on both sides,
Yeah.
whatever it is. my concern always too is when we put riprap down, and I completely agree with not using broken concrete. Is that where is that energy being dissipated? Because we're now, where is that energy gonna be dissipated now? Because it's being dissipated on the banks, right? So we're gonna put riprap there and it's gonna dissipate the energy elsewhere.
Right.
So where is that gonna go? Are we looking at, is this gonna be enough to do it so we're not back here in a year saying, well, now we've got it's caused the problem down here, whatever.
Well, it's like doing it like a Gabion basket or something, that it's gonna reflect it back to the other side.
Exactly.
And so is it better to do a curve and riprap or a basket?
Eventually, that is something that I've talked to the engineer about, is making it a nice curve, but again, here we go, it's a
Sure.
lot of money. And I'm just trying to figure out, how do I stop the problem? Because the farmer come to me and said, hey, it's chewing up, his land, in essence. So, and we're an agricultural drainage district, we have to listen to the farmer, and like, yeah, no, I agree 100%. And again, folks, I'm not an engineer, I'm very simplistic. I just want to fix the problem, put the rock in there. My operating engineer, he was supposed to be here, he's tied up on a job, he was gonna be up to testify and explain everything from his standpoint, but he couldn't be here right now. But the job itself, folks, it's not that hard. It's very simplistic. We're gonna put the rock in, make the channels basically straight again. The water's gonna come in, it's gonna hit that rock. The rock that's the 7x9 is heavy enough, it's not gonna wash away, it's gonna stay there. A couple pieces might go, but not majority of that. There's a lot of rock that's gonna be there, that water's gonna hit, it's gonna slosh around, but it's still gonna head that way. There's so much power coming from the south, heading north, it's gonna force that water back.
Have you applied for MWD funding?
Okay, so the drainage district can't do it, it has to be, yeah,
That's-
it's
aren't you a
something to
government
do
entity?
with the way the district is formed. It has to be asked by the municipality. I've reached out to council and also the MWRD itself, their engineers, but I mean, I've talked to a lot of people and I've said, can we do this? And they're looking into that. And I mean, if they can, that would be great. That would help us out tremendously, because we're a little agricultural drainage district,
Right.
a lot of money.
And just so that you understand that the basic concept for the design is that this is an area that is regulated by the Illinois Office of Water Resources. And so it has to comply with, the design has to comply with their statewide permit for doing this kind of thing, and so that's what's intended. And that basically is the concept design is basically the NRCS standard detail for this kind of thing. The Natural Resource Conservation Service has a typical detail for how to do this. And we're pretty much, that's the plan, so.
Okay. Well, let's do that. Get us what you can, get that over to me, Jeff, just email it or whatever, and then attorneys will get us info. We'll come back next month.
But if I could just, as, this is a citizen board, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a lawyer. But we do have to approve these, public works statements, and we need to wait, I can't look my neighbor in the eye as a neighbor. To say I'm gonna give $14,000 to the state of Illinois to clean something up over there that we don't have any proof how it was built. I don't feel comfortable, and how much do we spend on picking out those trees and everything that comes in the water from down where I live, that came through Mary's neighborhood that flooded, several years ago, I'm not looking at my neighbor in the eye to say I'm gonna be doing this, so it's gonna take a lot for me to vote or approve any dollar amount for Illinois.
I actually have a comment to his comment. So I have done research. I've already been in contact with Will County Governor's Office. I've already started those conversations. In 2009 or 2010, there was a study done by Creek Township about the flooding. So that was already done. It was a design, they spent a lot of money. And so the project that you're talking about, it's already on paper, it's already there. It's just a cost, how much and who's gonna pay for it. So that's already been done. To the gentleman's comment of the water coming from Will County, Illinois, That is basically runoff from fields, there may be some houses down there, but majority of that is wide open land. And that's the way God has made it. The water gravitates that way, tree falls down, it comes this way. Dyer's system, not the same, not at all. Subdivision, plumbing, water goes down, directed. It's not the water flows this way. It's being funneled and directed into one of the systems. And no one, I don't think anybody here could say that did not cause damage, because without that stretch, that damage would not be there. So, I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would argue that, but okay, we've heard enough tonight. We'll go until next meeting. So,
I would have a motion to table, if that's what you're doing.
motion to table.
Sure. I would like to make a motion to table the Lincoln Lansing Drainage District's request from the town of Dyer for assistance on their project till
Second.
next month.
First and a second. Sue, roll call?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I have one more question.
Yes.
Have you guys gotten more than one estimate for this material? Have you gone out and gotten 3 or anything like that?
Or in the area. Well, so. Would probably be a Lockport, Lions. And that's still the same company, Heidelberg. It would be a lot more because transportation would be a lot more. That's the most closest and most direct.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Voice vote. Aye.
Aye.
aye.